in your life where you... So now that we are at that stage in your life where you came to the location, help us, because last week, as of the previous episodes, our father narrated his own perspective regarding how you met, but there was an element of the prophetic. So help us to understand, coming into this new church, understanding one or two things about how they preach, how their church culture. Help us now understand how you then met the man of God from your perspective. How did things happen your side?
Well, I would say that ants for meat, not for anything. And that time I was single. Let me tell you something I've told the church before. When I entered that church, I saw a young, handsome man, and he was a man of God. Do you know what came in my mind? That one can be your husband. The first time I saw... The first time. I think it's the Spirit of God who was talking to me. Though because I felt I'm so carnal, I began interceding and asking myself, Purity, how can such thoughts come into you, and this is a man of God? And I refused, like my spirit was not there, and I told myself, no, you know, and I respected the man of God, and I saw myself a fallen person, because how can I... Little did I know that it was the Spirit of God that was disclosing something, though I didn't know from day one. I will say that their culture, I love their church, and what moves me more is the presence of God, and not the practices and the direction that God gives you, because I had a direction before the man of God had invited me. We had discussed with him that there is one church called Shalom somewhere where he would like us to go and fellowship. Then I think he's the one who went ahead of me. We were to go together. He left me the other side. So when I went, I loved everything about them. The worship was good. The instruments were good. The man of God had a good word, and that also attracted me.
So, Mom, holding on to the words you use, you say the man of God had a good word. What was it like hearing our father preach for the first time? Because these days is more refined, and definitely the grace has multiplied. Help us understand from your perspective. How was it like hearing him preach for the first time? Did you remember that you are quote unquote carnal, or now it was more clearer and clearer what you liked about the man of God?
Well, I will say that the mercies of the Lord are new every morning, and the grace is also new every morning. And I will say that every person desires to grow. I remember the first sermon that he preached was about taking a step. Taking a step, I can remember. And it was so profound. I can't say that he has not grown. He has grown 100 times compared to those days, because I believe about growth. He has really growth. He has really grown. And I will also say that when I later noticed that I was too carnal and I was trying to bind and correct myself, correct my thoughts, is the season now when I was praying for settlement. That is the season that I was praying for settlement. And I was telling God, I don't want boyfriend thing. I don't want anything. I want a house to settle. I want a husband and a house to settle. So I can say that the man of God has really grown, and the grace of God is new every morning. Everything that comes with revelation is new revelations. Yeah.
So as we are just concluding the earlier stages of life, help us understand. It's rather a question of curiosity. How did you interpret the prophetic as it began to flow in our father? Was it there in those earlier stages? Would you say it was more of a struggle for him during those times, or it was or he was already flowing in the prophetic?
If I say I found him prophesying, I will be lying. The prophetic was very rare. I remember even after we married, we would sit and watch some prophets prophesying, where we took it as a burden, both of us. Now, any man of God can prophesy, just any. But there are dimensions. He would not enter to the dimension that he enters today. And he had not entered even to the prophetic itself. The ones that he would do is just for the declaring, for the declarations. And I remember I took it as a burden. And I told him, my husband, you must prophesy. If this thing a man can carry, you must carry it. And I remember I used to go and pray, not for another thing, for my husband to prophesy, because it was also something inside me. And I remember I also shared it with some members here that I remember the first time when I slept. Before now, the prophetic fell heavily on him. I saw myself, we were in a church somewhere, and I saw my husband prophesying. And because I was praying for myself and for him, I knew his prophetic mantle was released. But I could not see myself prophesy. But I was with him, and I could not see myself do what? Prophesy. So I told him that your prophetic mantle has been released. I've seen. And believe you me, that time he was running a program in Mombasa. I think it was late 2017. He had a program in Mombasa. He called me and told me, my wife, I have prophesied. We thank God. So I can say, as I wind up, I can say that I've seen him begin prophesying and enter into those deep dimensions. Yeah.
Allow me to interject and maybe ask you something, Mom.
Kindly.
On a personal level, what would you say is your area of calling? Now that you're talking of the prophetic, who would you say you're called for in this generation?
Okay. I will say that the first time when I got married to a man of God, and maybe I didn't have the calling. But getting married to the man of God itself is a calling. That is how I interpret it. So I knew I had another assignment that I need to accomplish. And I entered in his shoes, and I told him, matters kingdom, I know less. And I desire to learn. I desire to do, but I don't know how to do. So I can say that he has been mentoring me. He has really mentored me. Though we have grown together, I gave him the right to mentor me and the space to mentor me. And I can say that my calling is prophetic. I am a prophetess with no doubt. Yeah.
Wow.
Mom, you said something very, very strong. You says earlier on you stepped into his shoes.
Yes.
And it was more of now that the calling earlier on at those stages, it was to help us understand, because I've heard this quote before, that it takes more anointing to be the wife of a man of God than to be the man of God. How far true is that?
100% true. Because, men of God are dealing with people, not animals. And it is not very easy for a woman of God maybe to allow the man of God to serve people. Even you, very soon when you marry, there will be some boundaries. In every marriage, there is boundaries whereby you will tell your husband, you will want your husband to be this way. You want your wife to be this way. So this one here, there is no boundary when it comes to the kingdom of God. You understand? And that is why people will say that being pastor's wife is a calling. It's not an easy thing. for you to adapt, because in the first place, before you got married, you were not a woman of God. You were just another woman that is never used on dealing with people. Now here you are dealing with people. There is no even boundary. Your own boundary, your own principles cannot now apply in the kingdom thing. Now you have to tear down. And if your husband is someone that respects the marriage and the covenant, then the marriage will work and the ministry will work. You understand? Yeah. So you just need to tear down and give the man of God to the church.
Okay.
Yes.
Then when it comes to Shalom Embassy, our dad is the vision carrier. Now, how would you interpret this vision, and how do you fit into his vision?
I've been saying that I've been putting myself in his shoes, meaning that I'm his helper. I don't have my own vision. What is what I own and I run with. What is what I own and I run with as the helper. So I fit in the vision, is the vision bearer, but also as the wife, I own it. I own it. And I will say that in the Bible, wives comes as helpers. Now that is why every woman should be the helper. Whatever belongs to my husband is mine. That is what every woman needs to know. Whatever belongs to your husband, not material thing, the vision, it is yours. You only need to enter into his shoes and give yourself to be led. He's our leader, and I will say that I'm in his shoes for direction.
Along those same lines, Mom, you mentioned earlier on that it's more of giving your husband to the church. How would you say the vision of Shalom Embassy had its say in trying to, okay, let me rephrase. How would you say the vision upon our Father, the one that you carry together, how would you say it tempered with your marriage to a certain degree? Or would you rather say it has amplified it greater? How would you say the vision and the marriage coexisted when you knew that most of the times you'd be giving your husband to the church?
Well, not per se as to give to the husband to the church. What I meant is giving him peace and giving him enough time to serve the church, to serve the nations, to serve even globally. You understand? I will say that if there is something that has strengthened our marriage is the church. And God has really given us wisdom. We were very young. And I didn't expect in my entire life to marry a man of God. I have never thought. I didn't know how it will yield, like the prophecy will come to pass. But when I found myself that I married to the man of God, and he had a vision, and we were very young. We were both confused, but the vision was there. And I can say we were confused because now, that time we are running church, it's when we just got married. Are we copying from anywhere? Sometimes you may copy. Some other times you may be innovative enough and get some ideas by yourselves. So I will say that the church has not diminished our marriage. It has glorified, it has amplified, and it has strengthened the bond for the marriage. Yes.
Back to your calling and the vision put together. I want to maybe mirror a ministry, one or two ministry I've seen around. You find where they are both men and women of God. The holders of the church are both men and women. But you find a stage where the woman comes out so strongly that at times the husband sits and lets the woman to run the show. So he supports you, he runs the vision, yes, but he also gives you the wings to also fly in that area. What would you say about that when it comes to you and Papa?
Well, it depends with the couple, the agreement, because I also have a friend of mine who married, the woman was the pastor, but the husband was not a pastor. So it's the woman mentoring the man of God. It's the woman mentoring the husband. Well, such cases are so many, and I will say that in this case where maybe the husband is the one being mentored by the wife, it may take the husband long maybe to have to penetrate or become the leader of the church, because number one, it is the wife with the calling. Most like that, my friend, it is her with the calling, but she got married to a man, and because it's a must for the husband to be a man of God, now it is the woman running the church and the man is just there. But I can say that it is always important for every couple to grow together. Even if it's the wife mentoring the man, let also the man try and grow with the wife. Even if it is vice versa, I take it very positive. Where the woman is the owner of the church and the husband maybe is just a co-owner. You understand? I take it very positive. But I will challenge that let every couple, it doesn't matter who carried the calling. It doesn't matter who was called. Couples can grow together. They can share their ideas. Because like one of the couples that also the wife is the one who was called. When the husband now became a pastor and the wife mentored the husband, now the husband will still bring some blows and some problems to be, But I will say, as I wind up, that let the couples grow together and let whoever has the calling be the flag bearer, be the vision bearer. You understand? Be the vision bearer. It cannot limit the man. But let also the man grow in the things of the Lord. Yeah.
One last question before I hand over to you, Teach, for the summary. You're in charge of the women. You're the women patron. What vision do you have for your daughters, and to what level what really do you want to birth in them? What can you say you want to impact in that ministry?
Well, I will say that number one, I know mostly I'm called for women. I'm prophetic, and I know my assignment for this church is for women. Maybe for the nation is for the entire nation, for the global, but especially for this church, I have an assignment for the women. And that is why we have the Dorcas movement, the Dorcas walk that we have been, we've been run like twice now per year. And my desire is to empower every woman that belongs to the ministry to make sure that they have maximized their potential and they have grown in the things of the Lord, and they have also grown financially. So my assignment, I will say to the women and to the growth of the women in this church, is to maximize their potentials and also make sure that they grow in the things of God. Yeah.
Mom, as we have journeyed with you, help us understand what it was like when you now entered into the prophetic. Because earlier on you had mentioned how it was a burden which you carried, both you and our father. How was it, for example, in the first instances when you began to prophesy? Yes, you had mentioned earlier in the days of university you would pray and people would fall under the power. But how was it when you began to prophesy?
I can remember. I think the prophetic thing I was just born with it because when I used to be in high school, let me begin there. I think I left a part of it. When I was in high school, I would dream. And like there is a time that we had a visiting day. But I dreamt that night that my father will not come and they have a burial at home. And it's true. No, my mom is the one who used to come with my brother and my aunties. But that day I dreamt my father coming alone. And true to my dream and to my word, at around 10 I was called from the dormitories. And I had seen a burial that night. Then my father just came. When I was gone down, I just saw the car. I knew that is my father. When I saw, my mother used to come by matatu. So I knew, when I saw the car, I knew that was my father. So my father came carrying for me a soda, some chapatis in a dish. And before he greeted me, I told him that I know what is happening. Don't lie to me. Who are you burying? That was the first question. Then he asked me, do you have a phone in school? I told my father, no, I don't have a phone, but I know whatever is happening home. Then he told me that we just lost your cousin. Then several incidents that I didn't need to have a phone to know what was going at home in my village. So I can say the prophetic is something that I grew up with, because I would dream, everything I would dream would come true. Everything I would desire or discern, I would see it happen. So now for me to prophesy, I live now, prophetic is in dimensions. There is that dreaming dimension. Now live the dreaming dimension. Now when I saw my father prophesying and I'm not prophesying, now the assignment was left on me, and I said, even me, it doesn't matter what is blocking me. I have to do what? I have to prophesy. And it was in our church in Tasia. And that is when I learned that there is a lot of laboring. It cannot just come for any man who is seated, especially when you are a beginner in the prophetic. And I remember I could not sleep. I barely slept that night because I'm the one. My husband had gone to Ghana, and I'm the one who was in charge of the service and everything. So I was left behind. And I've said that I'm in his shoes. I must fit in his shoes. Though they are so big, sometimes I will try to put them on. And I said, Papa prophesies. Me, today, tomorrow, I must prophesy. And by the grace of God, when I slept in the morning around 6 to 6:20, I saw myself prophesy. I saw the service. It just came. I saw the service and I saw myself prophesying. And I went ready for the service and my spirit was charged. And I began with the prophetic. And I prophesied.
Wow. Before the sermon, you began with the prophetic?
Yes, I began with the prophetic and I prophesied. That was early 2018. Early 2018. I think the month of, it was our anniversary month, Feb. Yeah.
So, Mom, as we now just reflect back to those days, one of the questions that our viewers had in conclusion was that, what letter would you write to your younger self during those times when you were, as you mentioned, in university, you can come in with power, but you can fall.
In high school, it was more deep than in university.
So during reflecting back on those days, what would you say to your younger self during those times? That how would you break down the journey that she's about to face? How would you counsel her on the next 20, 30 years of her life from the time when she was young?
Okay, I would say that every person has a gift. And the earlier you identify your gift, the better. I didn't know if I carried the prophetic gift, but I knew I carried something inside me. I knew I have a mantle of leadership, not in church, but since I was young. And I remember even I have 2 uncles that calls me police, because of how tough I was and how organized I was when I was young. They will look at me, the entire family, and they will say, I've never tolerated nonsense. Even when I was young, I will tell them, I will put everything in order. Even my young ones knows, even my own cousins and all around. So I will say that when I learned that I have something unique that I carry, I also carried myself with some respect. I don't remember when if I wasted my time. I guarded whatever I carried with a lot of. I was very keen on what I carry. I didn't know it's for the nation. I didn't know if it will come out for the church, but I knew inside me there was something. Though I would see it manifest in the high school, in the university, there was a barrier. And the barrier that was making it maybe not to come out well is the church that I used to attend when I was young. Because you could not speak in tongues because of the doctrine. You could not speak in tongues. I used to speak. And I remember I could question the elders. There is a day that the elders summoned me because I went, took the microphone. I used to be the Sunday school overseer when I was in Form 1, Form 2, by the way. And I remember they had this memory verse reciting. And we brought it in a form of worship where it was deep worship. And you know, because of their doctrine, they don't know deep worship. They don't know speaking in tongues. They don't know anything. So I knew I was going against the doctrine, but the Spirit of God was pushing me to do something. So when I enter, we had like around 50 pupils in our Sunday school. So I put them in lines. They were like almost 4 lines. Then I took the microphone and I began singing the worship. And in the worship, the Spirit of God came down. And even the young ones began speaking in tongues. The young ones.
This was in Form 1 and Form 2?
No. In our local church. In our local church. The young ones, I think there were 3 girls that also began speaking in tongues. I didn't know how. And when we finished, I didn't know if there is a mistake that we did. The elders summoned me. And thank God, because they will not put me down. They say, we want to see the Sunday school overseer. And I was there. So they told me that we can't handle anyone speaking in tongues in this church. And I told them that then I'm above you. Then if you can't handle that, I'm above you. Because now I must speak in tongues. And I didn't speak for you. So I can say that the young me was so vibrant. And the young me understood what I carried. And by so doing, because of those barriers, I will not come out so well. But I thank God for the platforms today. Yeah.
My co-host.
Yeah.
Mom's journey it's not only peculiar, but it breaks down every single aspect of her life in a way that does reflect not only leadership, but also what this generation must learn regarding helping a vision that is running.
Maybe the other thing you forgot to talk about with her is her prayer life, because she prays. Oh my God.
Our mom.
She
Our
prays.
our
We can
mom.
handle it next time.
We can handle it for the next
yes.
episode.
Oh yeah.
My co-host,
Oh yeah.
close all 4 of you as we send them away.
Oh, Mommy, thank you. This was an ambush to you, and you've answered us so well. Thank you also for your time. We know you have a very busy schedule. You've offered to let the kids go just to be with us.
Yeah.
We don't take it for granted. Co-host, thank you also for always guarding this session in high esteem. See you next time. Thank you so much.
Viewers all over the world, we thank you for spending the time with us. We meet again next time for The Voice. I thank you.